All right, peace everyone. As usual, we have our technical difficulties, but we're here, So anyone who's there, give a sound check. Put something in the chat to say whether or not the music is too loud. If you can hear it, if you can hear me, you can see me, all of that. Yeah, good. Thanks for coming through. And sort of introduce myself. I am Menyelek, known as Master Menyelek, and of course I'm going to be doing some sketching. Yeah, so I'm going to get into it because I'm kind of behind. But this idea of Mythos was it was inspired by this album. You know, this is Lupe Fiasco's Cool, and it's actually his 15th anniversary. Now, I didn't even realize it's been that long since I heard this album. It came out in 2007. I was like 16, so it's been a minute. But no matter how many times I put it on, it's good money. So I'm gonna be riding out with this one. Hopefully, I don't get any copyright warnings at the end of this live. I probably will. But just ride out, vibe out, and I'll be back with you in a few. Let me see if I can try and set up some other stuff while we're going. Charge it. I'm from the city of the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Say now, I'm from the city of the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Say now, I'm from the city of the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Hey, city in the whole wide world. Hey, city in the whole wide world. I'm from the city of the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Say now, I'm from the city of the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Hopefully you don't see too many wires. City in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. City in the whole wide world. Hey, city in the whole wide world. Okay, let's do those. Y'all gotta forgive me too. I kind of slid into place. I didn't. Okay, let me see if I can find something right quick. This is live, y'all. You can tell there's like no structure to this. Because I'm here looking for a reference photo. Should I have one up? How's this? This should be alright. Lord, please have sympathy and forgive my cool young history as the coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? I love the Lord, but sometimes it's like that I love me more. I love the peace and I love the war. I love the streets and I love the shore. No love for no beach, big that's law. But she doesn't see, therefore I spoil. Uh-oh. There go the Wi-Fi. Some ghetto out here. Let me try this technique I picked up last time. See if I can try this. My eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams, the purpose of our scene. I'm searching for the flame. She would be my queen. I could be her king. Together, she would make me cool, and we would go through forever. And I would never feel pain, and never be without pressure, ever a cane. And if the rain stops and everything's uh-oh. That's another bad verse. And clues tonight? Nah, y'all don't get no clues. Figure it out. I believe in y'all. Okay, so as the music reloads, I think I see that. A little bit of that. A bit of that. Come on, Wi-Fi. You can delay my live. Don't tape my music. Well, I guess since it's so quiet, I can start talking. So this album, The Cool, the way it correlates with Mythos is that Lupe Fiasco basically created an entire mythology from basically what he was seeing around him. And he had created 3 characters. The Cool, representative of, what was cool back then. This is the early 2000s, so you have the concept of the street nigga or the quasi street nigga or anyone who was street adjacent who just wanted to be the coolest on the block, you know, and they wanted the streets to accept them and love them. They may have grown up without a father or in a single parent home. And I'm just telling the cool story, And their mother may have been well to do, but as one of the songs states, not well enough to keep him from us, stating that even though you had enough money to give him a quote unquote good life, your young son would still be tempted by the streets or street life because that's what's cool. Some people do it because they need to survive, but other people were tempted to do it and give up a good life because they wanted to associate themselves with the struggle. They wanted to, if they were clean, they wanted to dirty up their image. If they were dirty, they wanted to accentuate the dirt that they did in order to get where they wanted to go. And it wasn't just young men who were seduced by this idea. Young women were tempted by the quote unquote bad boy or the stereotypical drug dealer who would basically treat them like crap, but give them, lots of material possessions, which they equated with financial stability and security until he eventually wound up in jail. And she would be left alone to raise their child, eventual child, inevitable child, on her own. and repeat the cycle, because that child is going to grow up not only wanting to be cool, but even getting some street credibility off of what their cool father did, So Lupe created these three characters: the streets, the cool, and the game. Right? The cool, these were all archetypes, of course, but they were very artfully created. The cool, as I just mentioned, has a right hand that has basically been decayed because he's a drug dealer who becomes super successful, and he's basically put onto the drug game by the character of the game. And the game is the epitome of every game known to man. Whether it's the pimp game, dope game, politician game, any game, right? If it's a language, he knows it and speaks it. He was around from the time the very first dollar was made or spent, the very first deal was made. Similar to the streets, who was around since the very first road was paved. And there's a song called The Pills. I haven't loaded up. Wilfred is going to play, as I'm getting on this mythological tip. But The Pills describes each of these characters. And that eraser. The Pills describes each of these characters and their symbolic, symbolic and physical characteristics, which are also symbolic. Let me get some symmetry in this. Okay. Yeah, so they're also symbolic, right? He describes the streets as a demon in a dress with dollar signs in the eyes and semen on the breath. I think it should be loaded up. You can play it. Put a one in the chat if you can hear it. Not this. Come on. It's not your turn yet. Okay, there we go. So put a one in the chat if you can hear the lyrics.
First thing I want to say is, they say real, recognize real. The dollar bill will exercise all ills. Frauds are stubbornly camouflaged and fatigued in the field. But careful who you believe the pills. It's still like classic. Proceeds go towards the buying of Caprice classics with the wheels to match it. So they can mack it like an automatic weapon. Stepping off in the traffic light. Check them. Tears roll down the eyes. Let it rise inside of a funeral procession. It lies with X's in his eyes. The unguided, misdirected. Small cars roll past and laugh. The streets is a demon in a dress with dollar signs in the eyes and semen on the breath. Scantily clad, no panties, deep throwing in the alley, Asian valley and sunglasses. You pretty, slang boyfriend names is tattooed on the titties. Breaking greed, ignorance, and envy inside of a Philly. Hennessy tears, ass, and bring your enemies here. Flirt with your flaws, see you run up in the rut. They say the game is the belly of the beast. Blunts for fingers and hollow tips for teeth. Wiretaps for ears, Nike ears for feet. Blasphemy for prayers, a system for a heart. Rap music for beats. For when for his son and his married to the streets. Crack pipes for moms, and he never sleeps. Just spies with ice in his eyes. Loves life cause he likes when it dies. With a bacon soul to soul, he caught for pleasure. Clothes made out of dollar bills that he sewed together. He knows he's clever. Jealous his house, all the liquor that's poured out goes right in his mouth. Rides around on a straight bullet, With prostitutes, pimps, dope dealers, and killers tied to it, the bullet. A TV in his head, strippers slide down his legs, and he's known to run around with the feds. Yeah. But righteousness is a father teaching his kids that's what's better than love, vision, respecting yourself. A pistol packing old lady standing up to the dope dealers on the block, making sure her presence is felt. A teacher teaching that thinking is cool. Listen before you mention I'm at the school, turn them into fools. Keeping God first, Lupe is here. FNF up, homie, I see you out there.
All right, so just a little intro to it. That wasn't on the album, The Cool. It's something that was released as a mixtape. And it's known by two names. It's known by Out There and The Pills. I think it's easier to find as The Pills. So he described the mythological aspects, right? And obviously these are all metaphors, but just the creation of a whole pantheon, I thought was real cool, especially around the time that I heard it. You know, I was real young. I wasn't really savvy when it came to, you know, what was popular or what was cool. You know, pardon the pun. But I wasn't really savvy on what was popular or what was cool. And this album helped to shape my taste for music, you know, in terms of the lyricism and everything. Because before this, it was just Tupac, you know. But after I heard that, I sort of started branching out and looking for music that had a metaphorical aspect. And to my surprise, I couldn't find it. Like this was like first artist I kind of liked. Yeah, excuse my roommate and his high pitched laughter. But yeah, this is basically this is like my favorite artist, and it still is. You know, still is. But that was the Pills, you know, and you have different characteristics. You have the Streets, who who has this thing where whenever she tries to get wifed by drug dealers and gangsters. So you have people like Al Capone, um, like Tony Montana, like those types of dudes who, you know, run the streets. Anyone who runs the streets is attracted to, and they're attracted to her because she represents everything that they're chasing. You know, and you can see he says that you can hear he says she's aging badly, but in sunglasses she's pretty. Slim, slim boyfriend names are tattooed on her titty. Rapping greed, envy, and Philly all up in the Philly. So you have this idea that anytime one of her boyfriends dies, she tattoos them on her chest. She also, if you look at the album artwork and the booklet that comes with it, which I thought was also like really cool in terms of design, she has a locket. You can see on the album cover, she has like a golden locket that's shaped like a heart. So it doubles as like a metaphor to being the key to her heart, but it's also the key to the streets, you know. So you can hear in another song, The Cool, where he's talking about the character The Cool is rapping about an ex girlfriend, you know, or his baby mother, you know. He says, so acquiring baby mama dishonored tried to get me to be a father from afar. My new, what he said, my new lady gave me a Mercedes with a solid gold key, like the starter of a car, the opener of a door, or 2 pounds of raw. Yeah, yeah, exactly. On the radio, her eyes are radiating green. So yeah, you have this lady who's basically seducing him. But what's messed up is she's married to the game, you know. So he's kind of a cuck, I guess, because he knows what she does. You know, she's out there, but she's attracting all of these young dudes with all of this potential. You know, all of this potential for greatness. He funnels it into his game, and he uses them to make money. But he also feeds on the death and destruction of life. You know, so he's very much anti-life. Um, like the line that says, "Jail is his house," and all the liquor that's poured out goes right in his mouth. You know, you could tell right there that he delights in death. I gotta fix these proportions before I start getting carried away. That comes like that. That comes like this. Have some light coming from here. That's what the mustache comes in. Yeah. So I'll play some songs that introduce each of those characters. So I'll play the cool song first. This is when he was young. And his name is actually Michael Young History, right? Or you can stretch it out to say My Cool Young History, you know. So I'll play this one. This is him speaking to his mother. It's a conversation between he and his mother speaking to his father, but on separate occasions.
I won't let you leave. I don't know what you want from me. She said to him, I want you to be a father. He's your little boy, and you don't even bother. Like brother without the aura, he's up in the harbor. Cool on food for thought, but for you, he's a star. Starting to use red markers on his work. His teacher said they know he's much smarter, but he's hurt. Used to hand his homework in first, like he was the classroom star. First tears, let him know she sees. Nice fighting in class, got a note last week to say he might not pass. Asked me if his daddy was sick of us, cause you ain't never pick him up. You see what his problem is, he don't know where his papa is. No positive male role model to play football. Build railroad models is making the home. You've been digging it, cause you ain't been kicking it since you was old enough to hold bottles. You weren't supposed to get introduced to that. He don't deserve to get used to that. Now I ain't asking you for money or to come back to me. Some days it ain't sunny, but it ain't so hard. Just breaks my heart when I try to provide. And he say, mommy, that ain't your job. To be a man, I try to make him understand that I'm his number one fan. But it's like you're born from the stands. You know the world is not to give him. So won't you give him a chance? It's like, I won't let you leave. I don't know what you want from me. What you want from me? So he said to him, I want you to be a father. I'm your little boy, and you don't even bother. Like brother without the aura, and I'm starting to harbor. Cool on food for thought, but for you I'm a star. Starting to use red markers on my work. My teachers say they know I'm much smarter, but I'm hurt. I used to have my homework in first, like I was the classroom star. First the tears, let him know he sees. Now I'm fighting in class, got a note last week to say I might not pass. Kid asked me if my daddy is sick of us, cause you ain't never picked me up. You see what my problem is, that I don't know what my papa is. No positive male role model to play football, to build railroad models, just making the hole, you been digging it, cause you ain't been kicking it since I was old enough to hold bottles. Was supposed to get introduced to that. I don't deserve to get used to that. Now I ain't asking you for money or to come back to me. Some days it ain't sunny, but it ain't so hard. Just breaks my heart when my mama try to provide and I tell her that ain't your job. To be a man, she try to make me understand that she my number one fan. But it's like you blew from the stands. You know the world is out to get me. Why don't you give me a chance? Like I can't, I won't, I can't, I won't let you leave. Now, I don't know what you want more from me. What you want from me? I can't, I won't, let you leave. But I don't know what you want from me.
All right, so there you can see the idea of the father not being around and the dangers that can creep around, the corner, um, just from having lack of a father figure, you know. And here you can hear, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Here you can hear the son and the baby's mother pleading with the father to just stick around, you know, just come around. And you get a lot of that happening in poorer communities. You see a lot of it happening now, but it's so strange because before you had women begging for the father to be around, but now they're more openly, I should say, pushing for the father to leave. You know, and even lobbying, like literally getting the courts involved to get rid of the masculine figure, which the courts happily obliged to because women make the most consumer decision anyway. So you have less structure, or you have someone who's a little bit looser with their pockets and willfully raising a consumer, because a lot of the acts of love are going to show up in the form of material and physical gifts. You know, you need those gems and those lessons and that structure from the masculine element in the home, but it's not shown. You know, it's not praised, and it's actually vilified when it shows up in a healthy context. When it doesn't show up in a healthy context, then it's put on wide display and ridicule and paraded as actual masculinity, when in reality, it's like a pale substitute that serves as justification for not having order and structure in one's life. But yeah, there's some other aspects. I think it's starting to come together. There's some other songs too. I'm doing this from a weird angle though. I gotta do some stuff. Yeah, I saw that message coming. In smoke signals that I'm not showing the whole thing. I wonder if I could raise this up a little. It's my drawing desk is not too. Let's see, how's that? Oh, it might be a little better. I know if it's a little better. But yeah, that was the cool. There's some more elements to him, but I guess I could get to it now. You know, because it is important. Let's see how long this one takes to play. Doesn't start playing, I'm gonna start talking. Yes, this is more. One of these gotta change. I think this one should be okay. Oh, here we go. This one is yes.
Cool. Turn me up. Yeah. He came back in the same suit that he was buried in, similar to the one his grandfather was buried in. Yes, he was still fresh to death, blind, 2 earrings, a chain laying on his chest. He still had it because they couldn't find it, and the bullets from his enemies sat like 2 inches behind it. Smelled the Hennessy from when his niggas got reminded and poured out liquor in his memory. He didn't mind it, but he couldn't sip it fast enough, so the liquor was just filling the casket up. Looking down by his feet was the letter from his sister. Second grade handwriting simply read, I miss ya. Suit jacket pocket held his baby daughter's picture. Right next to it, one of his men stuck a switch up. He had a notion as he laid there soaking. He saw that the latch was broken. He kicked his casket open and he, this life goes fast if you lie. It might go fast if you lie. You won't live then you die. Oh, 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 if life goes past and you die, don't cry. If you're breaking the rules, making no moves, paying your dues. Chasing the cool, not at all nervous as he dug to the surface. Tarnished gold chain is what he loosened up the earth with. He used his mouth as a shovel to try and hollerate it when he couldn't dirt spit. He swallowed it, working like a reverse archaeologist said. His very treasure was sunshine, so when some shine through a hole that he had drove, it reflected off the gold and almost made some blind. He grabbed him to some grass and climbed, pulled himself up out of his own grave and looked at the time on the watch that had stopped 6 months after the shot said it got him in the box, ringing hanging out his socks. Figured it was hours because he wasn't older. Some flowers to brush the dirt off his shoulders. So with a right hand that was on bones and no reason to stay, he decided to walk home. So this life goes fast and you die. It might go fast if you lie. You gonna live when you die. Oh, 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 oh. If life goes past and you die, don't cry. If you're breaking the rules, making your moves, paying your dues. Chasing the man for some change to get him on the train. Damn, the nigga stank, it's what they complain. Tried to light the blunt, but burst into flames. Caught the reflection in the window of what he became. A long look, wasn't shook, wasn't ashamed. Matter of fact, only thing on his brain was brains. Yeah, and keep back in his lane, doing the same. First he had to find something to slang. Next stop was his block, it had the same cops. Walked right past the same spot, he was shot. That's a low niggas tried to sell him rocks. It just felt weird, being on the opposite. They figured that he wasn't from there, so they pulled out and robbed with the same gun they shot him with. Put it to his hand and said, you scared, ain't you? He said, hustler for death, no heaven for a gangster. This life goes past and you die. It might go fast if you lie. You gonna live when you die. Oh, 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 if life goes past and you die, don't cry. If you're breaking the rules, making your moves, paying your dues, chasing the cool.
Okay. So there you see another aspect of the cool, which is he became a hustler, but then he eventually dies. He doesn't go to heaven or hell. He actually he stays there for a couple of years, long enough for rigor mortis and decay to set in, because when he wakes up, one of his arms has already rotted down to the bone, and incidentally, it is his right arm, right? And that symbolizes the loss of his righteousness. That's typically what's stated about that symbology. And in the first song, The Pills, you would hear that righteousness is the father teaching his son, or a pistol pocketing old lady standing up to drug dealers. He didn't have that. So he fell prey to the streets and to the game. And there's a lot of other symbols, like the key that was still on his necklace. Um, and with that key and with his mouth, he was able to dig himself out of his own grave. Which I thought was a cool, just a visualization, the way he explained it. So he was working like a reverse psychologist, except his buried treasure was sunshine. So when sun shined through the hole that he drove, it reflected off the gold and almost made some blind. That was like that was like it for me when I heard that when I was 16. I was just like, what did he just say? I rewinded that part so many times. Yeah, man. So you can see how much of a part this key plays and the way that he lives his life. But this is like a Tarantino sort of thing, because a lot of the story is actually about him being out there running things and how the streets in the game come into play. So I'll go to the streets. Doesn't have too many parts, so I'll play the one about the streets. But listen to the lyrics very carefully and tell me if this sounds like it's describing something a little bit more familiar, a little bit more modern, what's happening now.
Tonight, the stars are alive, the light is alive, the wind is alive, and the sheets of your smile, and the fear is the fall of the sky, of the wall of the wind, the love of the ship, the walls of the driving me crazy, war is now late, love of our lady, God is amazing, of the time of the swift, of the ride, of the wind, and the ride,
See,
the spine, the day, it's almost if I told me just at the tip of her finger, streets, oh, fall, death is almost if I told me just at the tip of her finger, streets, oh, fall, the virus is spreading in all directions. No safe zone, no cure, and no protection. No symptoms defined as signs of an infection. No vaccines, remedies, and no perfection. Quarantine the dreams and serve off our connections. No letting, not a friend, not a reflection. Everybody scattered and want you to have it next in. Don't accept them if you want to stay as an exception. Heal. Sickness, some are still in out of its existence. Some call it forgiveness and some call it division. Some say it's an accident, some say it's an entrance. The poor say the rich had the cure. The rich say the poor off the stores. Revolutionary say it's psychological war. Invented by the prince just to have something to report. Some say the first case came from a maternity ward. Some say it wrong. Some say the skies. Some say the wars. Wars say the nuns. Nuns say the whores. And everybody is sure. The scientists say it only affects the mind. The little boy said it only affects the girls. The preacher man said it's gonna kill off the soul. A mom said it's gonna kill the whole wide world. Death is almost if I told me just at the tip of her finger. Streets, oh, fire, death is almost if I told me just at the Some say to me on sounds about a laugh because repeating and everything is fine. A still silence to demolish and trouble conscience of a cops with no knowledge and every freedom denied. Every dream is designed and broadcasted from the masses to the masses from the antennas on top of the shrines. Respond to receive the plan and join the panic and shorty. It repulses like everything in your mind. Everything is gone, everything is gone, everything is a poem, everything is a con, everything was here and everything was mine. And new weather, burn feathers off everything shine. The sadness, the madness, the bash, the lavish, the fastness, the fashions, the ashes, everything intertwined. My fit for time, my daughter function angel. Once gonna change in the batteries in the halo. With C4 wings and everything that she paid for. And the address to the factory where they made those. Sunset, she's all inside my mind. The little boy said, what happened to all the girls? The bitch said she's gonna kill off the soul. The dope boy said, it's the whole wide world, that is on the tip of her tongue. And they just have the tip of her streets. Oh, fire, death is on the tip of her tongue. And they just have the tip of her streets. Oh, fire,
Okay, so you have the streets, and she's basically described as almost like a virus, right? Which is interesting considering, considering. What is that? But yeah, it's interesting considering the times that we live in and how accurate it is. And if you slow it down, because I know he's going pretty quick, every line like hits. The virus is spreading in all directions. No vaccines, no cure, no protection. No symptoms to find the signs of an infection. Yeah, man. So that's the streets, And it says she likes it. She loves it. The sadness, the badness, the bash it. The ashes, everything intertwined. My femme fatale, my darling fraudulent angel. Fraudulent angel. Once caught her changing her batteries and her halo. Receipt for the wings and everything that he paid for. And the address to the factory where they made those. So you can see that this quote unquote love isn't really a true thing. It's sort of like anyone who's seen Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. It's sort of like Jasmine Guy's character who gets sent to seduce him, and just find out that she was actually sent to kill him. It's sort of that she's sent to be his downfall, and she can enjoy the job while she's destroying someone. She likes it and she loves it. So yeah, so that's the streets. I think that's the only song dedicated specifically to the streets. Everything was either the game or either the game or the cool. But the cool, as far as the cool is concerned, the streets is down with him. So there are a lot of references made to his renouncement of his righteousness, basically, and his devotion to the streets based on her perceived loyalty to him. The coolest is the best example of that. Willfully my dad firing something.
The coolest nigga what? 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 Lord, please have sympathy and forget my cool young history as the coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? I love the Lord, but sometimes it's like that I love me more. I love the peace and I love the war. I love the seas and I love the shore. No love for no beach, baby that's law. But she doesn't see, therefore I spoil. I trick, I fall, run up and roll. I love her with all my heart. Every vein, every vessel, every bullet large. With every flower that I ever took apart. She said, it's for you me greatness. Say this place spinning on the others. My face with grace covers of the magazines of the hustlers. Paper, the likes of which that I had never seen. Her eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams. The purpose of our scene. Our obscene obsession for the bling. She would be my queen. I could be her king. Together, she would make me cool. And we would both rule forever. And I will never feel pain and never be without pleasure ever again. And if the rain stops and everything's right, she would cry just so I could drink the tears from my eyes. She teach me how to fly, even cushion my fall if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky. But she would keep me high, and if I ever die, she would commission my demons on bosom to her. Or maybe she retire as well. A match made in heaven, set the fires in hell, and I'll be the coolest nigga what? 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 Lord, please have sympathy and forgive my cool young history as the coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? And so again I reign, the Trinity, her and I came. No other man can ever stand where her and I came. Hella hard, umbrella, whatever, but plow it over pain. And pray to God that the flood subside. Cause you don't need a son till he does reply. And not one of Jared's, you think it's all errand. And everything's irie, enough supply. That means enough can lie inside my endless summer. That was just the eye of the hunger. Felix, cause he is the cleanest among the younger, outstanding achievement. Up and comers, the ones that had deadbeat daddies and well-to-do mamas, but not well enough to keep them from us. The ones that were fighting in class, who might not pass. Rap record pressure to laugh at a life not fast. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? That's what I got asked. Do I love her? Do I love her? Said I don't know. Streets got my heart, game got my soul. One time some sunshine will never hurt your soul. Quote to a client, the son and baby mama, who's the mama to a daughter that I had fathered from afar. My new lady gave me a Mercedes and a necklace with a solid gold key, like the starter of a car, the opener of a door, or 2 pounds of raw. You gave me a baby, but what about lately? Right up in her face, G, that's more fish in the sea. I'm on my mission to be the coolest nigga what? 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 Lord, please have sympathy and forgive my cool young history as the coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? Come, these are the tales of the cool. Guaranteed to go and make you fail from your school and stick on holy grails like a fool and hang with the players of the pool. Fast talking on the hustle. No heaven up above you, no hell underneath you, and no one will receive thee. So shed no tear when we're not here. Keep your faith as we chase the cool.
Actually, I'll let it ride.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones and they wanna know. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The crowd is here and the lights are on and they wanna show. Yeah. A fresh cool blue, trying to cash my phone check 212. Wanna believe my own hype, but it's too untrue. The world brought me to my knees. What it from you? Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new? Where your name in on the guest list? Who from you? You, the more famous person, you come through, and the sexy lady next to you, you come too. And then the hitman standing outside of heaven, waiting for God to come and get me. I'm too uncouth, unschooled to the rules, and too gumshoe, too much of a newcomer, and too uncool. Like shadow in the veil, a battle with it will. Though I need a holiday like lady who's undue. Go back, whatever you did, you undo. Heavy as heaven, the devil on me 2 times 2. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones and they wanna know. Yeah. And you better wear your shades. Spotlights here can burn holes through the stage. Down through the basement, here's the Indian graves where the dinosaurs laid. And out through the shining elements, airliners magnified times 5. That's the one that the rhyme of ricochets off the moon and set the forest ablaze. Now that's the point of the city. Cause even with all that, most of us don't want it fade. We wanted to break, meaning we wanted to grow, meaning we wanted to stay. Like the governor called and told them to wait. Unstrapped from the chair, put back in his cage. The audience ain't phased, and they ain't gon' clap, and they ain't gon' praise. They want everything back that they paid. They've been waiting since 10 to see the lights get dim. What you say you are, a superstar, but have no fear. The crowd is here, and the lights are on, and they wanna show. Yeah. Chauffeur, come and take me away. Cause I'm standing in this line for like 5 whole days. Insecurity ain't getting along. And when I got to the front, they told me all of the tickets were gone. So just take me home where the moon is mellow and the roses are blown. M&M's are yellow and the light bulbs around my mirror don't flicker. Everybody gets a nice autograph picture. One for you and one for your sister who had to work tonight but is an avid listener. Every song's favorite song and likes no feedback. All the reviewers say you need to go and see that. And everybody claps cause everybody's pleased. And then they all take the stage as I'm performing for me. Like if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones and they wanna know. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, have no fear. The crowd is here and the lights are on, and they wanna show. Yeah. If you are what you say you are. I'm going to kill him. So, make niggas stuff. You know what I'm saying? Man, said life ain't easy. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. Streets be all like feed me. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. My man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. Streets be all like feed me. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. My man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. He had a whole lot of cheese. Plus he wasn't Mac, he had a whole lot of cheese. Made a lot of niggas fat, gave a whole lot of G's. Grams, man, he had a whole lot of G's. And he would let you hold like a whole lot of keys. Even if you lose some, he would give you new ones. Twice the bread, it's like he had 2 buns. And he had a whole lot of C's. Even his kids had meals for real. Small fries wrapped in paper since they was little. Catch up, nigga, man, said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's what shit get greasy. Streets be all like, feed me. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. My man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. He was a heartbreaker and a law shaker. If it was about kicking, he was a partaker. International, he would take trips, bon voyage, that's how hard he was fishing for the chips. So greedy, never gave to the needed. That's what some say. The way he shunned all the bums hanging in the subway. He called them fruits and laugh at him. Delivery man on the pickup drive throwing a bag at him. And it was hard to understand him sometimes, making the killing the way he had him standing in line like, oh man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get crazy. Streets be all like, feed me. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. My man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. Lovers call him king, haters call him clown. He would say, fight me, that's the way it's going down. He was having thoughts that maybe he should retire. Went to church on a Sunday and started deep fry. Said he had beef and people want him dead. He loved the hungry ones, was only scared of the feds. He lived a fast life, couldn't get his path right. Friday just told him about the hood. Coolest nigga, what? That's enough. I'm fearless now. Hear this.
Yeah. How you gonna just mess with my vibe?
I'm fearless.
I guess someone doesn't want to load. Okay. Guess it's time for a quick check-in. Yeah, so that song and the previous song were like expectation versus reality sort of thing. So the first song, he's bragging about his oh, there you go. Yeah, I guess that one doesn't finish. So the first song, he's talking about his dedication to the streets and to the game, and almost like his severing of his own right arm. You know, his severing from of his attachments to righteousness, because he actually has a child, right? I think he has a daughter, and he's basically telling the mother of that child, you know, yeah, well, you gave me a baby, but what about lately? And he laughed in the face and bounced, you know, laughed in the face, laughed in her face, and went about his business. And he's talking about what the streets did for him. You know, she's doing all of these things for him. She's giving him all of these riches, and Like if he falls, she's gonna catch him. You know, another aspect of the streets is she cries tears of Hennessy, which sounds kind of funny. But the line that he says, you know, if it all stops, um, and if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky, no, what did he say? If it all stops and everything dry, she would cry just so I could drink the tears from my eyes. She teach me how to fly, even cushion my fall if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky. But she would keep me high. And if I ever die, she would commission my image on her bosom to hum. Or maybe she'll retire as well. A match made in heaven, set the fires in hell, and I'll be. You know, so he's talking about all of the things that, all of his faith that he's put into the streets and the game. You know, and his utmost self-assurance that he won't fall, you know, but just in case, he still has them to lean back on, so he's good. So I don't really need heaven, I don't need hell, I don't need my woman, I don't need my children, I don't need my family. All I really need is the streets and the game, and I'll stay on top forever, which is true in absolutely zero cases. But it is what it is, right? And then the second song, Gotta Eat, which is basically one long food pun, but you gotta love it. Fast food pun, you know, but fast food in relation to the fast life and the easy money he's getting, right? So it's like one long fast food pun, but at the end, it said he took himself over to the paddy wagon. They said no, Bacon wouldn't take him, had the pigs on the payroll, you know. So even though he wanted to quit at some point, he was still he was still a slave to the game, because all of the different moving parts that kept him in the game, they're still moving. Just because you want to stop moving doesn't mean you're not a cog in the machine. So he has the issue of trying to get out. But when the game hears that he wants to get out, it's sort of like that skit in the beginning of the song where he said, "I find this dude, I'm gonna kill him." You know, which the game does plot out. So if you're wondering how he wound up in that grave to begin with, you know, if you haven't seen this movie, and here's how it goes, and we could get into the game territory now. A little bit of a warning, some more fast lyrics for you.
They all got heaters, they gon' hit you, you gon' see it. You got a lot of money, I ain't tryna be funny, but you see where you going, you ain't gon' need it. You see your round shine with your 5 round, and it's really green, I lead it. Been on the sideline, blocking when you come down, blocking on niggas wanna get you your pastry. I suggest you protect your bakery, cause they coming for your head, and this is body on the chain that's hanging from your leg. You see, what you been told, what I hear is going down. Somebody gotta keep a couple of dollars up in the wallet to pay the cops so they can never box me in. That's what I'm thinking about in the ground, polishing this big school. I'ma catch him in the wind, ready to go jam. So we meet again, nigga, it's cool. I don't know what you've been told, but I hear it's going down. Somebody gotta know what you've been told, but that is going around. Somebody gotta don't think them niggas no mind, they hating on you. Ain't nobody with a shot, they're planning to do a rubber, hit your neck, catch your body. creeping in the throat of July, I've been waiting on you. Sitting in the store, confident, rob this nigga. Send out the mini Mac with a shotgun hit him. I've been waiting all day for the spot this nigga. Can't let him get away from a pop this nigga. Oh! They all know not shot in the truck. The Glocks in the box and the 9 on tour. The bulletproof glass, the 40 in the stash. The steering wheel and the top 20 up. Stashed up in the dance box, fully from that you couldn't run with a padlock. Acting the trunk with a sound bomb. 2 train block, 40s and the 9 in the damn. And we finna go to the school, show a little love, get a few drinks, holla at some girls, snatch up a pair, leave out of there, some girl in the air, and go and get some girls. Finna go up in the club, show a little love, get a few drinks, holla at some girls, snatch up a pair, leave out of there, some girl in the air, and get some girls. Hey, pull over right here, I gotta take a pee, and don't go nowhere, nigga, wait for me. And if some niggas do kill you in the next few minutes, just remember my niggas, M4G. Hey, hold it right there, I'll be right back, I take a picture, man, hold on. So, hey, man, hey, don't leave, man. Hey, don't leave, I'll be back. Hurry your ass up, man. Hey. What? Alright. Hey, man. Hey, nigga, hurry your ass up. Cool ass nigga, man. Cool motherfucking world, man. Niggas ain't fucking with me. Hot smoking, flies, cars. I run these motherfucking streets, niggas out here for me. Nigga, I wish motherfucking would. Hey, nigga, hurry your ass up, nigga. Damn. What's up now, nigga? Ain't too cool, guys. Don't you know that I run this place and I've become this race? Must I rerun this pace? I'm the reason it's become this way, and their love for it is the reason I have become this prey. They love my darkness, I've made them heartless, and in return they have become a Marxist. I've been in the poem of many a poet, and I reside in the art of many an artist. Some of you smartest have tried to articulate my whole purpose, but they're fruitless in their harvest. The trail grows from my footsteps. I'm the one that they follow. I am the one that they march with. Through back alleys and the black markets, the Oval Offices, the crack houses and apartments. Through the mazes of the queens, the pages of the sages, and the chambers of the king. Through the veins of the fiends, a paper chases picture, yo, I'm famous on the scene. One of the oldest, most ancientest things, speak every single language on the planet. Now, I am the American dream, the rape of Africa, the undying machine, the overpriced medicine, the murderous regime, the tough guy's front and the one behind the scene. I am the blood of this city. It's gas, water, and electricity. I'm its gym and its math and its history. The gunshots in the class, and you can pass if you listen. I taught them better than that. I taught them aim for the head and hope they never come back. I'm glad your daddy's gone, baby. Hope he never comes back. I hope he's with your mother, with my hustlers high in my trash. I hope you die in this trash. I can't help it. All I hear when you crying is laugh. I'm sure somebody find you tied in this bag behind the hospital, little baby crack addict's head. And maybe you can grow up and be a stripper, a welfare receiving prostitute and gold digger. You can watch on TV how they should properly depict it. The rivers should flow with liquor, switch your thirst on your Lexus. I am the safe haven for the rebel runaway and the resistor, the trusted leader, the number one defender. And from a throne of their bones I rule. These fools are my fuel, so I make them cool. Baptize them in water out of Scarface pool and feed them from the table that held the Corleone's food. If you die, tell them that you play my game. I hope your bullet holes become mouths that say my name, cause I'm the...
Alright, so you get a better understanding of the game. You know, But you also see this mythology playing out where even in the car, as the cool was waiting for the game to come back, you know, you could hear the cool from the first album playing, you know. So it's sort of like prophesying, like, this is what's gonna happen after you die. You know, you're gonna come back. And he's I think is a key point that he's singing the song um that speaks of his own demise. So it's almost like you know how you have young people singing about their own death, basically. You're glorifying this life that's gonna make you cool, even though you know you're gonna die at the end of it. It's still cool to you, you know. And then when you die, you have this shock look on your face, like, what happened? You know. So basically gets set up by the cool, and he dies, and you know what happens next. He comes back, and he goes back to the same old life he had before, you know. But I'll just start the song. I want to start the album from the beginning. It's already been over an hour though. I don't know, how's everybody in the chat feeling? Chizat. I sort of jumped around anyway, so I guess I'll play from here and let it ride.
I know, but I gotta get up out of here, you know? I got pretty bad, I got a show to do, you know? One time, with your mom, let's go to sleep, Paris, wake up in Tokyo, have a dream in New Orleans, fall in love in Chicago, man. I love her, and I hate to leave her lonely. Ring with the iPhone, it wasn't on me. He said, let's hit Japan. If we could make them jam, we could make 100 grand. Spend it in the south of France, something further. Jump around, go young trunk, get ready to walk it out like punk in my jumping in chunks. That's when I heard murder. You're killing me, filling me with sorrow. Sunrise, goodbyes, and missing you tomorrow. I turn to see my dream, love, supreme queen, the sing on the same cry. I drop my bags in the flash, that's faster than 180 on a Dasher. To dry your tears and wipe the rain from my dear like Dasher. Use the day, use the username, not on my password. The reason I get fly is Ivan Jasper. I even keep your picture in my passport. Left love, Paris, wake up in Tokyo. Have a dream in New Orleans, fall in love in Chicago, man. Then we can land in the wonderland, count back across that sand, take a train to Rome, or Brazil, for real. Wherever I go, she go. Wherever I go, she go. So let's keep it real, all in together, free chill. Tell the stupidest to throw a movie on the rail. Heat up my culture meal, exchange my dollar bills, lean back in my first class seat and sleep. Don't wake me till I land, they barely understand what I speak, but they nod to my beats. I tell my fans who I am, and they stand and they clap, they applaud, they love me, my God. Oscari Sama de Star, maybe au revoir. Real Saint Henri, then back to Charles de Gaulle, so I can get home and tell her everywhere that I've been and everything that I've done, and tell her that she's the one. And let's go to sleep, Paris, wake up in Tokyo, have a dream in New Orleans, fall in love in Chicago, man. Then we can land in the motherland, count back across that sand, take a train to Rome, or Brazil, for real. Wherever I go, she go. Wherever I go, she go. Guess who's back in the house with a bunch of souvenirs and a smile for your mouth. I really missed you each and every night. I kissed you in my dreams before I went to sleep. The la la land, I count them sheep. I swear you're looking prettier than ever. It's got to be a prophecy for us to stay together evermore. For better, all that's support, all worth a weight and buried treasure. X's on the shore. I know my world tours like war to you, but Ian said aloha, and Hardy said cheers. Julian said bonjour. Big O was like yeah. Amanda and Lemessy wanted to know when we going there. Edison sends his love, so does the rest of the club of the international playboys and play girls. But I revoked my membership, all for my tenderness. She said pursue your interests, cause even if I'm kicking this, I'll be there, by your side, in your heart, and on your mind. So as I taxi down another runway, I got you, love you, babe. Now bring it back now. Let's go to see Paris. Wake up in Tokyo. Have a dream in New Orleans. Fall in love in Chicago, man. Then we can land in the motherland. Come back across that sand. Take a train home. Brazil, for real, wherever I go, she go. 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 It's more like a Rhea. I hold a hole like a teacup. Roll in one hand, on the other hand, throw the piece up. My other hand, throwing weed without the E up. I got like 5 more, man, I'm something like Shiva. And that folder roll number 4 deluxe. See, I've been around the world like the gnome, but I come from a zone where the homes all beat up. The folks unknowns and the stones all beat up. Police tap my phones, got my stones all speaker. They keep back the poems, got their domes all beat up. To get up on their thrones and be calm, young leaders. Over put it on my culture, now if that ain't wrong. I just got it from the rhymers, now if that ain't blown. They gave my man 44, now if that ain't long. I put it all on my shoulders, now if that ain't strong. I made it out alive from the streets of the west side, CHI. Now if that ain't home, you better tell them. Hey, stay there. You see, fuck, don't be bitch. My life's in high definition. With your eyes, sparkle. With your ears. Don't need no intermission. My life's in high definition. Flyness, I've become the hero and the sidekick. The rider and the nigga that I ride with. In your ear like the maker of the vibrant. Assalamu alaikum to the maker of the vibrant. Them other niggas on vibe with. I was about 3 when the eyes went, but I can see everything that you're trying to be. You can hide it while you coming out your throats like a Heimlich. I came up out the belly like a hot script. Only my circumstance revised it. Hijacked the role and when it shot the pilot. I'm trying to go public so I can get the private. Then send Busy to go and get the pirates. Then hit Africa trying to fix the virus. Go back to the hood to Huggy open the hydrants. R.I.P. Stack B, I'ma keep you alive, kid. Justice, something so fresh and wonderful. F-N, F-N, S-N, double O-P. Hey, stay there. You see, fuck, don't be bitch. My life's in high definition. With your eyes, sparkle. With your ears. Don't need no intermission. My life's in high definition. Loopy and Snoopy, let's go wild. Tiptoe through the dough, do a doggy style. And tell all my chicks and she I go. Louis get the lotto, Snoopy get the lotto. Lola might type, they bite, and might follow. Take this chill pill, nigga swallow. Recital is very homicidal. The big screen will capture it, cause it's high definition. Listen, cause we kind of greens in the kitchen. The alphabet boys on a mission. If you out to get cash, you better get it quick fast. Nowadays, niggas get you snitching on your bitch ass. Even your boys, that's believing them tokens out your game. Especially when a nigga know your real name. Blam with the blam. Smile, nephew, you want candy camera. Feel 9/11. Dressed in something so fresh and wonderful. F-N-F-N-S-N double O. Hey, stay there. You see, fuck, don't be bitch. My life's in high definition. With your eyes, sparkle. With your ears. Let's peruse the essentials of cool, study on the things so constructive. Make me feel fire than lobbies of the Jews. A disclaimer, just a rhyme, I hope dentures from soon. So I follow wrong jeans, my headquarter wallet, my neighborhood shirt, and my everything clock shit. My not go to college, but my street smart polish like the black fingernails of that punk rock logic. Do the knowledge, man, you can't be punked from projects. Firm disbeliever in your punch promise. Straighten off my comics, I was taking school. One of Jay-Z boys, now I'm skating in your pool. Not to be rude, I'm just taking on your rules. Like a young 50, I'm on world tour. You're on in Singapore, I'm bringing the sun with me. From the Robert Taylor Homes to Africa slum cities. I am American mentally, Japanese tendencies, Parisian sensibility. So stay out the vicinity of, yeah, the niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I did. Got my gold watch and my gold chain with my fancy car and my diamond ring with my fancy broad and full brain. So it's no words and it's no slang and I'm no trick and I'm no name. It's just so slick that she's so game and it's yeah, she love it over here. It's just yeah, she love it over here. It's just yeah, she love it over here. It's just yeah, she love it over here. I like it, TV candles and my Hershey sandals and Adidas sunglasses for the murder samples. I like false shirts, Dover Street is on the handle. Such a good designer, Junior Watanabe got brand new. I like Gucci Yamamoto and a Max Rotono. And the Gucci belts and guilty brotherhood polos. I like my blunt pins and most paper. I like them yard bags and green Amazonas. Article magazine and Japanese manner. That's for Ratus and HPA trainers. I'm a street fighter too. I just been here. See if I'm getting right. Do I find it hard to be like a Chico B ninja hanging in the uncle? I'm hanging in negative and energy. Say y'all the vicinity. Yeah, the niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear. Got my gold watch and my gold chain with my fancy car and my diamond ring with my ghetto car. And she's so plain. Got a couple scars and one of those long names. She fight a nigga and cusses with no shame. And I'm X-Men and a bag of the cocaine. But she, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. My next puppetry thing is the high self-esteem and the low tolerance for them telling me how to lean. See, the most important parts are the ones that are unseen. The wings don't make you fly and the crown don't make you keen. And I don't like ugly, ain't too happy about pity. And ignorance is enemy, so say I'm the vicinity. Yeah, the niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear. Got my gold watch and my gold chain with my fancy car and my diamond ring with my ghetto broad. And she's so plain. Got a couple scars and one of those long names. She fight a nigga and cusses with no shame. And I'm X-Men and a bag of the cocaine. But she, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. It's just, yeah, she love it over here. And it's dedicate. This one right here goes out to my homie with the drink. He said, I write what I I see. Right to make it right, don't like what I be. I like to make it like the sights on TV. Quite a great life, so nice and easy. See, now you can still die from that, but it's better than not being alive from strap. Agreed. A meat notebook and a big that click when it's pushed and a whack ass beat. That's the track that's sweet that he got last week, cause everybody in the store was like that's that heat. A bass heavy medley with a sample from the 70s with a screwed up look that went something. Mother, sister, cousin. He couldn't think of nothing. He turns down the beat, right as back MPs. Crying from the next room, baby in need of some pampers and some food and a place to sleep. That plus a black Cadillac on D's is what keep him on track to be a great MC.
I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved me. When you never heard of, I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved my life.
North side, so we rocks them braids. 1,100 friends on his MySpace page. Stack that cheese, got 700 plays. Producer made him take it down, said he had to pay. Open mic champ 2 weeks in a row. XD boy with a B-boy flow, glow like Leroy. You should see boy go. Got a daddy serving life and a brother on the road. Best homie in the grave, tatted up while in the cage. Minute Maid got his mama working like a slave. Damn baby mama, we really had to honor, cause she was his biggest fan. Even let him use a Honda to drive up to Dallas with. Open up for amateurs, let him keep a debit card so he could put gas in it. Told her when he get on, he gon' take her to the gallery and buy everything with the mannequin. You dig, dig, dig.
I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved me. One you never heard of. I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved my life.
Man, cool, said your time might be now. Played your freestyle over Wipe Me Down. They played it 2 times, said it might be crowned as the best thing out the H-Town in a while. He picked up his son with a great big smile, rapped every single word to the newborn child. Then he put him down and went back to the kitchen and put on another beat and got back to the mission to get his mama out the hood, put her somewhere in the woods, keep his lady looking good, hammer rolling like she should, show us home as it's okay. Other than that flipping yay, Bellis home at jail, put a lawyer on his case. No one comes for the school, show the shoulders that is cool. Throw some candy on the cat and chuck the deuce and act a fool. That feels good when it happens like that. 2 days from going back to selling crack. Yes, sir, sir, sir.
I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved me. One you never heard of. I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved my life. One you never heard of. I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved me. One you never heard of. I push it harder for the grind. I feel like murder, but hip-hop just saved my life. Hip-hop just saved my life. Hip-hop just saved my life. Hip-hop just saved my life.
She said there was no love in the heart, cause one day your rapist attacked her and broke that heart apart. She said there was no way to fix it or to cover her scars, but one day your guy came along and probably could help her start. He was sincere, made her believe it was safe for her to trust again. Before long, she was cool with giving hugs to him, knew that it was right, cause something was wrong. The alarms in her mind didn't tell her he lived alone. There was no truth. said nobody else ever loved him. That's why I ain't get high enough to go touch the heavens above him. Vividly remembers every pipe, every needle that stuck him, every alley he ever slept in, every person that he stuck in, every level of hell he's been to, and the one that he stuck in, the one he can't escape. Even though it's of his own construction, maybe you can't relate. Maybe you one of those that just doesn't. Maybe he doesn't care. Loves to allow these demons to come in with no. Striking his homeland and no social standing in the economic pecking order. Emergency relief distribution systems is in disorder. He's checking water, making sure it's safe enough for his daughter to float across in the belief built hopefully strong enough to support her. Praying border patrols don't catch her rest, processing the port before she reaches the shore of the land of the free, where they feed you, treat you like equals, deceive you, stand you and call you illegal when there's ain't.
Alright, so this is actually Lupe's latest album, Drill Music in Zion.
Tapping the blackest keys, capture catastrophes like a camera feed. Ball like a canopy, fall like Michael Jackson on anesthesia. Mistaken maidens for manatees. No relegate now pirated all your fantasies. Mistaken the sanitation for sanity. My mistake, I'm mistaken staying for can I leave? Yeah, Assassin's Creed, lasso to the hammer squeeze. Throwing Wonder Woman battle with the apple trees. Or like Adam Eve, happen at the Applebee's. Y'all can go half on a simple platter, you can have with cheese. Batter cover data with the additives. Giant leaps, beware with Atlanta data leads. Ain't no streams in space. Egyptian museum, they keep the kings in crates. Phones out on loan and they keep their rings in safes. You decide apple pie or the fries come with the snake. Prosperous gospel that cries all on the case. Poverty pimping, angel wings, flies all on the face. Wave a K until they die and then ride all on their wake. Shooting track on the track, I ride all on the freights like I'm shoestring. They say you can't escape when rich. That's just a bigger plate. They catching bait with fish, 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 fish. Yeah, man, yeah. Ain't nothing so, welcome back. I could feel myself in court. This is sport. Signals from the source. I can twist it, I can talk. I just feel like I'm a Porsche. I'm error. I defend myself in court. This is sport. I get signals from the source. I can twist it, it can talk. I just feel like I'm a Porsche. I'm Lies to the judge, rain in the sky and the sea might rise. Slice to the mud, slice to the flies from all kinds of the mud. Report live from the hive and all signs of the sludge. One deep, meditate, one street, separate high to the crips, high to the bloods. But it was the souls of lords and GE, segregated by the street and the night where I was. Got wise to the nudge. Why buy a tub when to buy you a flood? Better buy you a sub. How you gonna survive in the club? You gonna kayak it cuz when it rise up above and the waves come and push and the titles are shove. What's the infrared dot to a home.gov?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna show up until I get some better value with the shit and I can twist and it can toss. I just feel like I'm a Porsche. I'm I ain't wanna shots, headshots, cut off all my dreadlocks. I ain't wanna head wash no more. What you mean headshot? Nigga said headshots. Nigga like a helmet with a GoPro. But I mean 13 genius cause the verse mean. Remember we earthlings. Then you put that in slow-mo. So headshots, brains, and a pan. So that's a no. Might not get it, but it's dope though. Matter of fact, local. Surrounded by gang members and a lot of popo. That's real, but it might sound like a joke though. Never know. Keep both sides in the chokehold. I just wanna credit you, sweated like show posts. I don't even know who wrote those. Maybe my ghost knows. But we both go. I used to write on my ghost flows. Wrote each other solos. Now the nigga say he want co-pros. Money from the shows and rights to the logo. Do you want a lawyer? No, I defend myself in court. This is sport. I get signals from the source. I can twist it, I can talk. I just feel like I'm a Porsche. I could error. I defend myself in court. This is sport. I get signals from the source. I can twist it, it can toss. I just feel like I'm a Porsche. I'm error.
How they turn all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things. How they turn on me.
Never bite the hands that feed, but when those same hands grab the gats and up the sleeves, they got the traps and apparatus for your greed. They catch you like and wrap around your hatch and squeeze. I swear my hands were pure. I gave them manicures. Became my adversaries. Became my saboteurs. I put carrots on them, just like rabbit laws. My middle fingers like, fuck this nigga, what happened to us? Used to be clapping for us, thumbs up and then snapping poets. Now they be dapping foes and grabbing more. And they know that I don't drink. At least I don't think I asked for peace signs. They gave me Leon Spinks to ask for okays. I got up yours and go aways. Shoe gestures and throat slices, the motions made. Give me a sign where we can talk through a plan. But my hand feels like fam, you can talk to the hand.
These precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn, all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn on me.
Put the arms in arms, I put arms in palms. We was hand in hand, all stay. Pinky speaker, thumb receiver, how we used to call, make all shakes. Now it's fingers crossed over small stakes, no taller than the cross space. Get scissors to my paper, we not on the same page. We was back capturing picture, now you don't even wait. We used to throw the shotgun behind the Lulu from the stage. Now you just wanna throw hands and technical rules on my blades, goddamn.
Precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn, all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn.
It's like you couldn't do more to try and keep us out them handcuffs. It's like we only matter when fans is putting their hands up. You got popular, treated us like the Yakuza. You was vampire hunter D, now you Alucard. See, that's the thing, cause we was praying for you, and guitar and playing for you. Turn a deaf ear to what we was saying to you. We was here, can't go back to before. The problem is, you don't use us to write raps anymore.
Peace, peace, Menyelek Eden. Bedtime. Sounds nice. Yeah, still going strong. What's happening with my music? Yeah, I blame a certain somebody who just popped up and the music started playing. I ain't gonna say who. Yeah, man. I'm trying to see how I can get the likeness to show through a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes you get situations like this. You gotta Start digging. See if you can find what you're looking for. This is strange. Did Spotify crash? What the? Alright, sucker. Be that way.
Hey, you looking over there? I got something to show you if you got the time to spare. The quality's the highest and the price is very fair. It's honestly the nicest thing that I have ever shared. You look like the type that likes a diamond in his ear. To walk around the town and be so shiny and revered. Come across his boss and be so timely and prepared. Look like $1 million off a signing with the Bears. I don't mean to be so deeply inside of your affairs, but if I like getting ripped off, then I'd be over there. But that's why I'm over here. With that, you should beware. I'm only saying this because I really care. I think it's more of a temple, not a style. But no, not a religion, not at all. I know it's kind of simple and it's small, but that's cause it's the middle of the mall. If you wanna show off and just bow, all your attention is the drums. We got credentials for it all. Welcome to the middle of the mall. You ain't got a budget for these nuggets. You can keep it plain Jane and blow your brains when you in public. The matching ring chain will look insane when you untuck it. They'll never know the difference even if you let them touch it. Now if you are a rapper or a trapper on a job, it don't really matter if you get jacked or you get robbed. You can go and let them have it. It's not a factor or a prop. Only thing that's gonna happen, you're gonna get attacked by all the blobs. But to really get the people, you're gonna be shy. And you're gonna be so attractive in the blood. Now it might make you a magnet for the cops, but don't let them haters try and drag you from the top. You ain't gotta be a criminal involved. Know how to rap and never dribble in the ball. Or be a prince or an emperor at all. Everybody's equal in the middle of the mall. We are not the center of applause, but secretly the center of the cause. This is where the finishers evolve. In the middle of the mall. Diamonds only worth what you are willing to pay. A deceptive game you are killing to play. Now I have diamonds, it's odd feeling this way. When they start to sparkle and start glittering glaze, it sways, takes your mind off today's. When preachers can praise AIDS as God killing the gays. What a fucking phrase, now ceases to amaze. No one dies from answer, that's God's mysterious ways. Jesus saves, African soul slaves. Gabriel's in Afghanistan passing out AKs. It's rage. The diamonds sometimes are swayed, so I put it up to the blade. I have hesitations. There, I put it all on the table. I have my reservations. Besides, we'll find something that's useless to put our faith in. Often it's here, we'll pick up after meditation. Seems you got the spirit of the apostle, and you got the lyrics and the draw. I know some people love to hear it how you call. You should join us in the middle of the mall. I'm cool, man. I gotta watch already. Well, excuse me.
Hmm. Not you too, you do. Wi-Fi is not friendly tonight. There we go.
If you had to paint the gutter, which color would you choose? Said the patron to the painter said the blues. Do you act off intuition or language and peruse? More like tap into tradition from the angle of my mood. He looked back at his canvas, a strangle in a tube. A master of the palette, all sanguine and cool. The music mostly jazz, the jazz mostly old. Punctured by some punk and some old smoky soul. An atlas on the truck from the land of broken ghosts. Just a cover in the back that you open and you close. Where are all the pages? The painter said defanged. I put them all out and made some paper planes. Fish grease absorbers and some origami cranes. Poured itself a drink and then poured it down the drain. Looked at the empty canvas, said I think I have a name. I'll call it gasoline. Pouring on the flames. I appreciate the visit, this isn't normally allowed. You consider yourself wilder, falling to a style. The patron wanted at a pound, and those rejections or mistakes. The painter said that is not a question or debate. Most of what we know as art is the projection of a faith, a product of a pontiff for the election of a saint, a gift from the red for the digestion of the canes. A visual garnish for the confessions of the frank, displays of physical carnage, make connections to the ranks, goes over very well with South Americans and Yanks. Not to sound shamanistic, but there's medicine in pain. It gets kinetic if you let it. There's a fetish in its strength. Martyrdom will call Russian roulettes in the flanks, and most will pull the trigger if the weapon's full of blanks. But when there's a pool of sharks and you step into the tank, that's the pool of art that got them headed to the plank. But they fell for the deceptiveness of the secularist complaint, the upheaval of the cathedrals into the edifice bank. That pile over there is just the evidence of angst. The felt revival of a perfectionist when his ethics have just sank. A selection of the waste that lacks direction or a base. You lose all of the plots for the affections of a race. Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. I never wanted my life to be a collection of some dates and holiday my days away and intellectually sedate. It's not really a beat, but conceptually it's a stake. Like the genitals and gender roles successfully conflate. The current art world is just competitively opaque. It never ceases to amaze. My mouth is medically agate. One day it's raising up the brand, the next it's shredding it to flakes. And the velocity of trends is what referees the pace. Professionally accept, what ethically I hate. So in all of my work, you see this wrestling with fate. It's even in the brushstrokes, how aggressively I straight. Less like putting on some makeup, more like severing a face. Wow. Said the patron with a smile. That's the most interesting diatribe I've heard in a while. How you articulated the nature and put it all on trial. Took it up to heaven, then put it on the ground. The painter asked the patron, can you stand up on the pile? I've had a flash of inspiration, my creativeness aroused. The mind took its place. The painter grabbed the lighter, doused some shit in gasoline and set it all on fire. You see? I know you see. Signs of intelligent life, mosquito that repel the deathless bites. Look at the night, nice, we look alike. They want to slice of your dreams. Even Christ took a knife for the team, so swing. Yeah. Fatal fine guillotine. Yeah. I just come around to help, like Batman utility belt. I by myself with the world on my delts. We can chill while it melts. Beat big feel like it's felt. My suspicion Christians killed all the Celts. What else? What else? Forget what happened in the past. You gotta let it go like what happened to the gas. Can't have such anathema inside a mass. It'll ruin your communion and soil all of your fast. Stay away from rebels worshiping the devil like jazz. Where heaven loses a job, hell wins bad. Looking over macroeconomic math, kind of waiting and calculating how much time that we have and put it all in the graph. Look at all of the past, but look at Instagram, then go back and split it in half. I ain't rapping what's happening is blowing glass. Track is spinning drums and crystals blowing the brass. On that beautiful musical moving you like an in the cool Subaru with the Tiger man saying, look at what I can do for you. A nice chicken Vesuvius. Being no Boston often. Random Sicilians, I be walking like the ambiance and talking. My favorite part is all of that. I forgot what's wrong. You can put Dolce Vita chicken risotto in my coffin. It's a Yeah, I was in Roxbury on Malcolm X block. Talking that talk, they got Malcolm X watch. Trying to pick up when Malcolm X stopped. Only game I play is a Malcolm X box. Look in the sky, see the Malcolm X ring. Malcolm X files, it's a Malcolm X thing. As you ask yourself, what does Malcolm X mean? I return to the force in the Malcolm X swing. And scene. You know they want to slice your dreams. But even Christ took a knife for the team, so swing.
Ew. This is why you measure. And got a whole lot to fix. Yeah, I got a whole lot to fix on this one. But I hit the 2 hour mark. I don't want to torture y'all anymore. I think I'm getting close, but there's a lot I gotta fix. How you doing on the radio?
Yeah.
Do you have any good guesses yet?
Power of Atlantic to heal, still medical, bill, trio harmonics. Silver sonnets from the Bonnets and bonnets. I leave a whole sleeve down in Condoleezza's comments. Coppery onyx, competent and gauntlet. Godzill's economics, right gondolas for you vomit. Bigger than a tongue and write signatures with a Thomas. Screw on a China climber and money will correspond it. Opera onyx, populars for convicts. Stay below the Doppler turn robotics and the sonics. Position jostlers, monitor hegemonics. Robots make the robots that solder the electronics. Nostradamus can bother to keep a promise. Logic's on the rocket where profit defeats a conscience. Somebody's daughter is contemplating a convent, but a man with a dollar is slobbering for her haunches. Mouth is just watering for some nonsense, and this might be the moment her modeling probably launches. Gobbling collard greens through the rumpus, watching Gosling, watch hollering, replace the Congress. Golden gossip and auditing my content, running my hotter, just pondering whether pond it. World's hottest summer, we're wondering if they pond it. Desperate for the credits to come tumbling through the conflict. Yeah. Simple soul, made me go. That's the moment, control. Can you make a move forward? These episodes of the soul make me cold, past the more control. Can we make a move forward? All the true music is down. Now there are those irresolute to wreck, got caught, lost, electrocuted to death. Came a little late for the rescue and the flesh. DNA exonerates posthumously whatever's left. The resurrection with reputations correct. The revelation brings decorating regrets. All due respect, it's not really about fair. Collective side, because the real killer's still out there. Probably calling the police, complaining about his neighbors, or just walking on the beach. Why should he have such views of the ocean and not be hanging from the gallows with his neck neatly broken? I let it soak in, then I put the soap in, then I put the boats in, then I play with both them. The hot tubs now looking like a yacht club, making sure I get all of the shoes like a bot does. Neighbor is pissed, tells the cops if he wants to bathe like a sailor, live on that container ship. I party all night and the banging is intense, cause I know exactly what you did and you gon' pay for it, you bitch. So, made me go, that's no control. Can you make a move forward? These episodes of the soul make me go past the more control. Can we make a move forward? All the true music inside. When the short story moral is the same, you either fly into the portal, pull the portal over the plane. Quarreling mortals is nothing short of insane. Let's try and turn this quarter water to a quarter bottles and James. These episodes of the soul make me go past the more control. Can we make a move forward? All the drill music in Zion. These episodes of the soul make me go past the more control. Can we make a move forward? All the drill music in Zion. Wave with us, baptized and convert to the waves with us. I tuned into what the future holds. I can never be a slave, niggas. They gon' have to pay me. Maybe download the titles like Jay-Z. There's a roll offshore like an AP, AV. Jones like a on top of those rappers up the side of the ship. Suicide didn't die from the dip. Submarine man, keep your eyes on the blitz. Sonar, echo location, know where we are phasing. Get back to our nation. Hola. Slowly walking back to Africa, and I found a detour to the seashore. Yes, jumped off the deck to leave footsteps on the depths of the sea floor. Just for the beaches, right to the beaches. So I'm going back home, took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water for my futures. Like Jesus Christ, wow. Looking on water, wow. Looking on water, wow. Looking on water, wow. Just for the beaches, right to the beaches. Like the beaches, like so I'm going back home, took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water for my futures. Like Jesus Christ. me of the chorus with something so horrid. We became bulls for the floors and the doors of the worship. And the promorphic, the forest returned with a match. Made from itself and said, burn us with that. Then left again and came back with that. We can serve you as furniture, furnace us black.
Alright, that's it for me for the night. So I got a couple of proportions right. A couple of them I got way wrong. So it's something that's got to be fixed. I might even do another one just to get it proper without a bunch of marks. But there's a sketch session, so I think I can do a little bit of tweaking, and depending on how I do throughout the rest of the strong, I'll just decide whether I want to scrap it or go with it. The fact that y'all couldn't even guess it with so many obvious hints, it lets me know that the likeness ain't there. And I think I fell back into some old habits too of trying to get details before I got the proportions and the layout proper. So that issue is that's something that I gotta correct. It's not that I can't get accurate proportions by doing it the old way, but it's gonna take too long. The last strong I got it one shot. All I had to do really is come back and add on the other layers. But this one took a lot longer to get the likeness because I was struggling, and because I just I took too long to find a reference for, as you can see. But yeah, this is a good log to show me my process and how I can fall back into old habits. I think I'm gonna work on this a little bit more. But as for y'all, I'm gonna close it up for now. Next strong, we'll see how it goes. But I give thanks for y'all who are riding with me. Um, and if you all are going to be catching this later, however many years later, however long it takes me to get this channel up to where people can see me look at this old stuff. So I'll leave it up to y'all. But other than that, thanks for coming through. Peace.